we doing today, Leah? Oh, excuse me. We have to keep her tied down here. We need to keep her arms tied down. If you guys could just sit over there, please. If you could just sit over there, please. Sit. Yes. We need to. Do you guys speak English? Do you understand? We need to keep her hands tied down so she doesn't pull out this IV line. Do you guys understand? Okay, don't pull her arms up. Oh, excuse me, Mister. We need to. Nurse, can you give me a gate? Thank you. Need to put this here. Yes. Just leave her here. We want to keep this IV line in, okay?
Some of the issues in this scene were the lack of an interpreter, the lack of parental consent for the medical procedures, and the lack of the ability to communicate the necessity of an IV line and the difficulty that the staff had in accessing that IV vein. We also discovered that in Hmong culture, it was appropriate for children to be plump because that signified that they were healthy. But in this situation, it actually worked against the medical staff in being able to access the veins for Leah's medications. In the next scene, you'll see that the hospital will provide an interpreter, will gain parental consent, as well as facilitate their understanding in the medical procedures that were happening, acknowledge their beliefs in her health and the need that they have to hold her to comfort her, but also increase their understanding in the necessity for keeping that arm with the IV in it still and situated so not to lose the lack of veins that were there.
Good afternoon, guys. Excuse me, how are you guys today? Now, I understand there's been some confusion about the fact that we've tied Leah's hands and put up the gate, and I just wanted to talk to you about that and explain why we were doing that. Because of Leah's seizures, we needed to put an IV in her arm that you see there, and it's important because we can give drugs that can save her life. Our concern was that by picking her up, that you might rip that IV out unintentionally. Do I have your permission now that you kind of understand why to keep Leah's hands like that? Yes? Okay, great.
They agree.
I also wanted to tell you that I completely understand in your culture the mother-daughter bond is super important and that the mother needs to hold the daughter, and I think that's great, and I think you guys can be as close to Leah as possible. My only concern again is that IV line.
Каждый доктор он разумеет, как облизує честь имати у вашей культуре, але он каже, да за незно добровольство, да она мора има то и да не можете директ само на ту джейде линия незно вену.
Okay. Awesome. And then lastly, in regards to Leah's weight, I understand that in the Hmong culture it's very healthy to be a robust and plump young lady. However, medically, because of Leah's seizure conditions, the fact that we had such a hard time getting that IV line in due to her obesity, I think if she was able to lose a little bit of weight, it might be easier to administer these life-saving drugs if this should ever happen again.
Каждый доктор он разумеет, да вашей культуре добро подойдет мало дебело, але каждый за незно добровольство, да бидон шабило добро, да она мало изгуби килажи, потому им то помогло, ако опять они мора изставить ту линию вену, да би било не малакше заследить, пут ако се то тести.
Do you have any questions?
Jel vi imate ikakve pitanja za doktora?
Okay.
توجيهات.
It was very nice talking to you, and I hope you have a great day.
دكتور استزاف ازدواج مهمة.